Before you watch the actual event unfold, I wanted to give you some context. You see, I'm a student pilot, and I wanted to make this video so other student pilots could perhaps ask their instructor questions around this that perhaps could help them in the same situation. For me, I'm very fortunate. I've spent a copious amount of time with my instructor talking about emergency procedures. Probably will never happen, but if it did, muscle memory must kick in. Could I have done things better? Well, I'll debrief this at the end, and the short answer is absolutely. We're always staying a student. But did I land and did I live? Yeah, I'll take that as a win as well. I've always wanted to be a pilot since I was a kid, and about 7 months ago I decided to start the journey because I wanted to do it before I turned 50 years old. And this was actually the last part of that journey. It is called my long cross country, and it was solo. Now, I did it with my instructor before, and basically it was about 180 miles or so round trip with stopping 2 different airports and coming home. And you know, when I was coming back before the film started, because I was really only filming my landings to debrief with my instructor later, I started getting a rough engine. So I'm around 2,200 feet, 10 miles or so, 11 miles from the runway at my home airport, and it started running rough. So obviously I started thinking, okay, carb ice, you know? So I pulled my carb heat and it got better. And I thought, okay, everything's good. There's still fuel in the tank. Everything seems good. But I went ahead and hit record just in case it happened again so I could show him what the motor was doing. And, well, you can see what happens next.
Concord Tower, Cessna 117 Tango Sierra, about 9 miles to the southeast, requesting full stop, have hotel. Cessna.
Right down. 2.
Concord Tower, Cessna 117 Tango Sierra, I'm identing. I'm losing my engine.
Who says having engine trouble?
Cessna 117 Tango Sierra. I'm sputtering in and out and losing power. I've pulled carb heat. Everything else is in the green. Looks like my oil pressure has dropped.
All right, well, you can proceed direct to the runway 117 Tango Sierra, clear to land, and I'm ready for you.
Okay, it's coming back and I'm losing it, and I'm over a residential area. I don't have a lot of places here. I have pitched for altitude.
Okay, roger that.
I have lost 4 engine power. I have no engine.
Roger, no engine. We got guys coming to you. I got Charlotte notified, and they're coming to you, 117 Tango Sierra.
Roger. I'm looking for a field here. I'm going to try to drop in.
Roger that.
I'm going to attempt a landing in a field right now.
117 Tango Sierra, roger. I notified Charlotte. They got people sending as soon as they can to you.
I have touchdown.
I'm hoping that that video translates the amount of stress. And it's funny because what could I have done different? And I've debriefed this in my mind 100 times since it happened. I didn't use the emergency frequency 121-500, but then again, I was talking to towers. So in my mind, I just thought I'm going to stick with that. I didn't say how many souls were on board or how much fuel I thought I had. I didn't say Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. But then again, I was at the time, I guess no engine is a pretty good sign that there's an emergency. The first 10 seconds was panic mode. It's almost like this disbelief. Is this really happening? Like, this can't be. I mean, like, how would this even happen to me? I could hear my confident, calm tone begin to shift and change. But after about 10 seconds, I knew I was faced with absolute incredible task saturation within that moment. And the strange thing began to happen because I'm looking around and I'm saying, okay, I know there's a field here because I'm looking this way, neighborhood, power lines, roads, power lines. I had to make a choice, okay? And once I kind of said, okay, this is where I'm going, it was almost like an out of body experience in a way, although I was consciously there, and muscle memory kicked in. Speed, that kept going through my head. Maintain speed. That's the most important thing at that moment for me. Obviously, altitude is important, but this is a Cessna 150. And that means that I have to be very careful flying that in because I certainly didn't want to stall or spin and go right into the ground. But once I decided on the best landing spot, I essentially started turning, went left base, and I just pitched to keep my optimum speed. And I maintained amazing speed on the way down. Once I was turning final and coming down, I began putting a ton of flaps in to slow it down. I transitioned right at the field at a pretty good time, and I just let it fly. And I felt about 1,000 foot was my guesstimate. And I just transitioned, let it kind of fly until it sat down. And once it came to a stop and I realized I lived, I survived this incident, I called my wife first, obviously, and told her what happened and I was okay, and then called my instructor who was actually waiting on me at the airport and thought I was joking, saying, "Come on, man, where are you? You're late." And I was like, "I ain't joking, man. This is where I am." So I would love to know your thoughts on this, and also understand, and this would be the only advice I could share with people, whether you're a pilot or not a pilot, chair flying, shoulda, coulda, woulda, looking at things, and I would have said this or I would have done this, may be different in real life. When you're faced with this type of in-flight emergency, I think that's when you kind of figure out what's going to happen. I would suggest a lot of training, scenario training. I know that for me, I believe saved my life. And I'm going to continue to be a student. And I'm grateful for my flight instructor. I'm hoping if you're a student, you're grateful for yours.